Yeah, it's been great. We started with some rappelling in open air in Mansfield on the first day, just practicing some of the skills that we had built over the last few weeks at the tower and in the open at ovens. And then the next day we moved into some canopy rappelling.
The canopy training that we did the last couple of days was probably a little bit more technical. We had a little bit more regrowth, more chance to get the rope sort of tangled, and just a little bit more problem solving that everyone had to do to try and make sure everyone got to the ground safely.
Some of the challenges that they'll need to overcome during this phase of the training is it's much more realistic, so into some sort of tighter confined spaces as far as insertion sites, some potential hazard trees that they'll need to work through, as well as some more obstacles on the ground, which is fairly realistic to an everyday sort of rappel job, I suppose. It's not always going to be a nice manicured sort of bowling green that you're rappelling into. It can be pretty hairy at times.
Yeah, they definitely talk about muscle memory a lot at the tower, just sort of building those like foundation sort of technical stuff. And I've definitely found I'm starting to think a lot less about what I'm doing, and it's sort of becoming more natural. So that's been pretty awesome to see. When it comes to the real stuff in the fires and it's really stressful times, that we can fall back on those skills that we learned early, and it's just muscle memory. We've done it countless amounts of time, so we're ready to go.
Ready to rappel too?
Ready to rappel.
They've gone, both got away clean.
In this week we try and combine a number of facets of their work, if you like. So whilst half of the crew will be off doing canopy training, the other half are doing burn prep at a site, which enables the crew leaders to assess the new rookies' saw skills. It's probably fair to say it's easier to train someone to rappel from the helicopter than it is to train someone in good chainsaw skills.
We've paired our experienced staff with our new recruits just so we can develop those skills and share that knowledge from the more experienced staff members.
Camp's been awesome. It's been really great to get to know everyone, and it just really fosters a great sense of teamwork and culture, and we are all one big team. It makes us all really excited for the up and coming summer, and hopefully we'll get to work together a fair bit.
It's important to have that bond because we're such a small crew and such a small workforce that it really is important for those crews to get along and know each other so we can operate safely while we're responding to fires.
I think we've got a really good relationship with each other. It's been something that we've been sort of building on over the years, and now the crew cohesion from either side of the hill, I think it's as strong as it's ever been.
So the simulated exercise incorporated all of the facets of the crews going in on a fire. So they went in as a 5-person deployment, which is their normal operational crew, and then the rappel dispatcher on board lowered their initial attack pack, which comprises chainsaws, Racos, Pulaskis, first aid kit and some other essentials, and then there's also a 40-litre water container pack that goes down as well. The process for cutting a helipad is a decision made between the crew leader, because it's got to be in relation to what the fire activity is doing itself, the pilot himself as to what's a safe site, what's going to be realistic for the prevailing wind. The crew leader will map out the boundaries of what we need for the helipad, standing on top of the ridgeline, looking out, and any tree above eye height has to come out. So that may mean going off both sides of the ridge and cutting below the ridge and then working their way back up, falling as they come. And then on top of the ridge itself, they have to clear it to stump height to a certain distance. And then there's also then an area we call the touchdown area. All stumps, all vegetation, everything has to be cleared off the touchdown site out to about a 15-metre radius. All stumps are marked with dazzle paint so that they're clearly seen by the rappel dispatcher and the pilot on the run in. And then most vegetation has to be cleared off the site as well, because the rotor wash will stir up a lot of the vegetation, which becomes a hazard for things like the tail rotor, the main rotors if it flicks up, and also could injure the rappellers who are still on the ground. There's 2 reasons for cutting a helipad. So it might be just to allow the rappellers to be extracted, and extraction pads are usually much smaller, or a size enough that will enable the helicopter in and out once or maybe twice. If we've got a campaign fire or a fire where we need to bring in additional firefighters, then the helipad may be cut quite large. That's what happened in the Grampians last year with the Pomonal and the Mount Stapleton fire, where the rappellers went in and cut pads to bring in additional arduous firefighters to dead edge the fire along the escarpment. A really successful week. The weather's been kind. We've achieved everything, and as far as I'm concerned, we've got 4 operational crews now in preparation for the fire season.